Good morning boys, welcome back to Monday's class. Today Miss is going to teach you English. Already in English we've seen the alphabets from A to C. Miss has taught you how to recognize the alphabets, the sounds of the alphabets and how to write the alphabets, both the capital and small. Today Miss is going to teach you alphabets from D to J. Okay, how to recognize the alphabets from D to J, how to write both the capital and the small letters from D to J, and how to recognize the alphabets from D to J. So shall we start? Okay. So this is capital D, small d. D for duck, D for dog. The sound of this letter is D, D, duck, D, dog. Capital E and small e. The sound of this letter E is A. A, elephant, egg, egg. A, elephant, egg, egg. E for elephant, E for egg. Now this is capital F and small f. F for flower, F for frog. The sound of this letter F is if, fla, if frog, if fla, if frog. Capital G and small g, G for grapes. The sound of this letter is g, g, grapes, g, g, grapes. Capital H and small h. Okay, H for house and H for hat. The sound of this alphabet is house, hat. Capital I, small I. I for igloo. The sound of this letter I is E, igloo, E, igloo. Capital J, small j. J for joker. The sound of this alphabet is J, J, joker, J, J, joker, J, J, jam, J, J, jam. Now let's see how to recognize the alphabets. Alphabet D. As already Mrs. told you, always you should trace the alphabets to recognize them. So let's trace the alphabets now. The alphabet D. Standing line from top to bottom. Standing line from top to bottom. And a curve from top to bottom. And a curve from top to bottom. This is capital D. Standing line from top to bottom and a curve joining that from top to bottom. Now the alphabet E. Standing line from top to bottom. Then from the top a sleeping line. Then in the middle another sleeping line. And at the bottom another sleeping line. Standing line from top to bottom. The top one sleeping line, middle one sleeping line, and again at the bottom another sleeping line, E. Capital F, a standing line from top to bottom, then a sleeping line in the top and in the middle. A standing line from top to bottom, a sleeping line there in the top, and again another sleeping line in the middle, F. Let's see G. A curve from top to bottom. Just put a C like a curve from top to bottom. A small standing line and a small sleeping line. A curve from top to bottom like the alphabet C. And just put a standing line, a small standing line and a small sleeping line. Alphabet G. The alphabet H. A standing line from top to bottom. Another standing line from top to bottom and joining both a sleeping line in the middle. A standing line from top to bottom, another standing line from top to bottom, and to join them is a sleeping line in the middle. And alphabet I is a standing line from top to bottom, just a straight line. A standing line from top to bottom is alphabet I. J. Again a standing line from top to bottom and a small curve like this. Alphabet J, a standing line from top to bottom and a small curve like this. So these are the capital alphabets from D to J. Now let's see the small alphabets, the tracing of the small alphabets from D to J. Already Mrs. taught you A, B and C. See how it is written. The small alphabets are always written between the two blue lines. The two blue lines, always you will write the small alphabets. Now let's see how to trace the alphabet D, the small d. A standing line from top to bottom, a standing line from top to bottom, and a left curve from the middle to the bottom. A left curve from the middle to the bottom. A standing line from top to bottom and a left curve from the middle to the bottom is alphabet D. Let's see the alphabets. E. E is, you put a small curve. You put a small curve. Like C, no? You put a small curve. And from the middle, you join that curve. You put a small curve or a small C like this, and from the middle a line will join them. This is small e. Small f. Put a standing line from top to bottom, a standing line from top to bottom, and a slight curve on top like this. A slight curve. A standing line from top to bottom, a slight curve on top, and a small sleeping line in the middle. A small sleeping line in the middle is F. Now G, small g. Put a C, a small curve like this, and then you put a standing line from top to bottom and a small curve like this. This is small g. A small C, and then you join it with a standing line from top to bottom, and when you come down, it's a small curve like this. It's a small g. Small h, a standing line from top to bottom, a standing line from top to bottom, and from the middle you take a curve and come down to the bottom. From the middle you take a curve and you come down. This is small h. Come to alphabet I. A small standing line from top to bottom and a dot on top. A small standing line from top to bottom and a dot. Again, small j, a small standing line with a curve. A small standing line from top to bottom and a slight curve. Then comes the dot. Okay, now we'll see the writing of alphabets, both the capital and the small alphabets from D to J. Okay, so shall we start the same procedure? See, already Mrs. taught you these two lines, seen in red. This is the top line, this is the bottom line. Okay, this is how it will be in your notebook, 4-line checked notebook. Now see how we'll write capital alphabets and the small alphabets. Capital D. A line from top to the second middle line. A straight line from top, standing line from top to the second middle line, and a curve. From top to the second middle line. This is capital D. Small d, again from the top to second middle line, a standing line from the top to the second middle line, and a left curve like this. And a left curve like this is small d. Now one finger space, you need to leave one finger space. Then coming to the capital alphabet E, from top to the second middle line, a standing line, then a sleeping line, top, middle another sleeping line, the bottom another sleeping line. This is capital E. Small e, between the two blue lines, you put a small c or a small curve. Put a small c and a small. And from the middle, you put a line like this, it is small e. You put a small curve like this, small c. From the middle, when you join this top middle line, it becomes E. Again, one finger space, we'll go to F. A standing line from top to the second middle line. The standing line from top to the second middle line. One sleeping line, the top, one sleeping line in the middle. It becomes F. Now we'll see the small f. Put a standing line from the top to the second middle line. A standing line from the top to the second middle line. And do a small curve here on top, and a sleeping line in the middle, it becomes F. A standing line from top to the second middle line, a small curve like this, and a sleeping line in the middle, it becomes F. G. Let's go to G, capital G. How will you put a big C? It's a big curve from top to bottom. It's a big curve from top to bottom. See, and you put a small standing line. You put a small standing line and a small sleeping line and come down. A curve, you put a C like this and a small standing line, small sleeping line, and again a small standing line. It becomes G. Now we'll see the small g. It's a small curve between the two blue lines. A small c. Just put a small c between the two blue lines. And a sleeping line from the middle line till the bottom. I'm sorry, a standing line. A standing line. You put a small curve like this. Then you put a standing line from the middle line to the bottom and a slight curve tail like this. Put a slight curve like this, G. Okay. Put a small c. A standing line from the middle line till the bottom and a small curve like this, a small g. Let's come to H. A standing line from top to bottom, another standing line from top to the second middle line, a standing line from top to the middle line, another standing line from top to the second middle line, and a sleeping line joining both. Sleeping line joining both. Small h is a standing line from top till the second middle line. Standing line from the top to the second middle line. And from the middle, a curve like this. From the middle, a curve like this. Then again, one finger space, you go with I. A standing line like this from top to bottom is an I. If you want, you can put two sleeping lines like this. Or if you want, you can leave it like that also, not a problem. I is a standing line from top to the second middle line and a sleeping line there in the middle line and the top. And the small I is between the two blue lines, a small standing line with a dot. A small standing line with a dot. J is again a standing line from the top to the second middle line and a slight curve like this. The standing line from the top to the second middle line is a slight curve like this and a sleeping line in the top. The small j again is a standing line from the middle line to the bottom. From the middle line to the bottom with a slight curve like this with a dot. J, a standing line from the middle to the bottom and you put a slight curve with a dot is J. Again one finger space. No, we are only seeing the alphabets from D to J. So see your boys. So this is capital D, small d, capital E, small e, capital F, small f, capital G, small g, capital H, small h, capital I, small I, capital J, small j. The sound of this letter is D, E, if, G, E, J, D, 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 E, if, G, 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 J. Okay, boys, with this, today's session is getting over. So you've learned the alphabets from D to J. Please do the homework in the respective notebook. Thank you, boys.